Hello everyone, it's Brian from Lakeside and a very warm welcome to you. First of all, I hope you had a really lovely new year celebrating. We had a great time, and so now it's onwards and upwards for 2019. And as I mentioned in my last video regarding Lakeside, that lamp's bent, I did say that I would be starting the baseboards in early January, and this really is the very first start of it. So what I wanted to do was to plan out on a piece of baseboard which I've got the maximum width from here to here I would have as regards track, because that's kind of important. Because that determines the width of the baseboard from the wall to the very edge. And what I wanted on this layout was that this configuration, what you see in front of you. So it's 4 platforms with 2 express tracks here and here, and so no trains running on there would stop here, obviously. Then I wanted either side of that a track for this platform, a track for that platform, a track for this platform, and a track for that platform. So it gives me 4 platforms, 2 express tracks, and on this side just a track for laying a diesel or a steamer on this track waiting. So it could be a shunter or something ready to shunt some coaches around, but just a spare piece of track just so that I can have something running up and down this piece here. Nothing on that side, just this one track here. So that is the maximum space I would have for track work. So this edge here would be the edge where I would be standing. This edge over here, which you can't see, let me move it a bit. It's messed up all that, never mind. That edge over here would be the wall. That is just the right width for me to model without stretching and get to everything. So that's really the, let's move that there, that's really the optimum measurement that I will have, and that will be plenty for me. So what I did, I went to Homebase and I picked up this piece of MDF because I measured roughly the width I wanted across here, and I found this piece of MDF, and they sell this by the bucket load, but only that wide. But that's not an issue, because really I just wanted this as a template. I can get this cut at B&Q to any width I want, really, up to 8 foot. But because it's modular, I don't want these to get too long. I want them probably about another 2 of these side by side, and that will be one module, and then there will be another module. I've got literally a mountain of timber over there for the framework. I haven't got to buy any of that for quite a while, and I haven't got to buy any of this for quite a while, because obviously I've got some left over from the Mark 1 MD Lakeside. So I should, with a bit of luck, in fact there's one piece here, one piece there, which I can use. Just rip that down to size, and I've probably got about a dozen sheets of that. So I've got a fair bit there which I can be cracking on with. This configuration is not going to go round the whole of the layout. I think probably what will happen, I'm not sure yet, but I think what will probably happen is that on the other side of the room I will probably go down to 2 tracks, and then it can spur off when it comes around here to the individual platforms. That will then give me, if I move that out the way, that out the way, let's take the worst case scenario. We take those out, take that out. If we went for the worst case scenario, that would give me that much. That's 4 tracks on the other side of the layout, and that will allow me scenery. Let's bring that further down here. It's about there. That would allow me scenery back here, turntables for a shunting yard, engine shed, TMD, a massive amount of room there. The reason why I want the track forward near the edge is, if you remember, I said what I wanted to do was to get an O gauge piece of track running along the side here, so that I can have a camera running on the O gauge track. So it would be this camera here, which you're viewing from, sitting on a O gauge wagon running up and down this side here. No point in having that if you've got scenery in the front blocking the view of the camera. So I want the track here pretty much near the front, which will, I don't mind that, because then that leaves all that area there for scenery, which will include things like the manor house, which will go back on, the village, which will go back on, maybe not in its original configuration, but the village will be there with all the original houses and the pond, etc., but laid out slightly different. So that gives me a lot of room there to have, and obviously my tunnels, which I've saved, and hills. That gives me a hell of a lot of room there left to incorporate all of that lot. If we went down to the minimum, so it'd be 2 tracks, it would give me that. So it will give me even more room. Realistically, I think I would prefer to have the 4 tracks, realistically, because that way it would allow more running of locos at the same time. Because if I go down to 2 tracks, that really realistically only gives me, in effect, 2 tracks or 2 trains to run at the very same time. Whereas if I have the 4 tracks again, I can then put on 4 quite safely without any problems of any little faux pas of crashes, etc. I will try and go for that if I can. Obviously I will space these out slightly differently, but yeah, I think that's probably the ideal solution, and probably the one I will try and work for. And I can't really see any reason why I can't have the 4 tracks, to be honest. So that's about it for the moment. It's only a very short video, but I thought that I would show you what I'm up to at the moment. One thing I will do is I'll just take these off, and I'll pick up this and the camera and show you what I mean as regards the depth. So bear with me. Right, let's move this over here. Let's turn me lens round. And down there, that is a box full of points. I am not short of points. I've got electro-frogs in there somewhere, insel frogs, but I will try and use all my electro-frogs first. and not use the ears of frogs. But the height of this is going to be slightly higher than this cabinet, because I want to include these cabinets within the layout, and I want those to be underneath the baseboard, so it will look like that, but obviously about there, because I've got to allow for the timber framing underneath, but those will be hidden underneath. And that gives me, if I stand here, there, up against it, I can get to the back here, no problem at all. It's really easy. So I've got really good working space on this baseboard. So there's no major stretching or anything. It's all very easily reachable. So that's the plan. It seems to be working out okay. And what I'll do is to build 2 modules of this stuff, bolt them together and see how they look. I think 2 will give me a good idea if it's going to work or not, and if it doesn't, then it's no big deal. I can change things around. As regards moving, this is the reason why I'm doing it modular. Okay, I doubt very much. I will be very, very lucky, put it that way, if I find a room exactly this size so that it will all fit in again. But again, I'm not too worried about that, because if we move either this year or next year, I'm not going to get round to doing very heavy scenic stuff. It's going to be track laying, testing, and maybe platforms, that sort of thing, which should be dead easy to unbolt and move to a new house. And then I can either take out some of the modules if I'm in a smaller room, or make some more modules if I'm lucky enough to get a bigger room. I don't want to wait for 1 or 2 years before I start making this. I can't wait 1 or 2 years and not have anything running. I've got to have something running. So I've got to go ahead and make these modules. And I say that, it should be quite easy to adapt, because it is modular, quite easy to adapt to a new room. So that's it for now, and I will do another video perhaps in a week's time or so, by which time I should have hopefully quite a few of these modules built, and then you'll start to see them going around the room. But as you can see, I've got all that timber, masses of it, so I'm not going to have to go out and buy very much timber, I wouldn't have thought. It's all, a lot of it, most of it is kind of 2x1 size, which is an ideal size for the framing. Okay, so I will call it an end there and put this up. So bye for now, and thanks for watching.